The richest people you know probably work less than you do. They take more vacations. They sleep better. They stress less. And they have more money. How is that possible? Because they figured out something Gen Z is still struggling with. You don't have to destroy yourself to build wealth. Right now, you're probably grinding, working your job, running a side hustle, checking emails at midnight, stressed about money, exhausted all the time. You think that's the price of getting rich. It's not. In fact, that's the opposite of what wealthy people do. There's a massive gap between how broke people build wealth and how rich people do it. And it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter in a completely different way. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how the wealthy balance making serious money while keeping their sanity intact. Because wealth without peace is just a slower way to destroy yourself. Let's be real about what's happening to your generation. Gen Z is burned out. You're trying to do everything at once. You've got your main job, your side gig, your content creation, your investments, your networking. You're constantly on your phone. You're always thinking about money. You can't relax without feeling guilty that you're not grinding. Your cortisol is through the roof. You're not sleeping. Your relationships are suffering. And for what? A little bit more money that doesn't even make you happier. This is a trap. Society told you that to be successful, you have to sacrifice everything. Your health, your relationships, your mental stability. All of it is supposed to be on the table. You're supposed to hustle until you drop. Work yourself to death. Sleep when you're dead. Grind, grind, grind. And somewhere along the way, you actually believed it. But here's what's crazy. The people who actually have real money, they're not living like that. They're not grinding themselves into an early grave. They're not answering emails at 3 in the morning. They're not sacrificing their health and relationships for more money. They figured out that the best wealth is worth nothing if you're too stressed and broken to enjoy it. The problem is that you're building wealth the wrong way. You're trading your time and your peace of mind for money. And there's a hard limit to how much money you can make doing that. Because you only have so many hours in a day. You only have so much mental energy. Eventually, you're going to burn out. And then what? You got money but no health. You got money but your relationships are destroyed. You got money but you're so anxious you can't even enjoy it. So what do wealthy people do differently? First, they understand that their well-being is an investment, not a luxury. When you're poor or stuck in the middle class, you see self-care as something you do when you have time or money left over. It's the last thing on your list. But rich people see it the opposite way. They see it as a foundation that makes everything else possible. Think it logically. Your brain is your most valuable tool for making money. If your brain is tired, stressed, and running on empty, how good can it work? Not very good. So, wealthy people protect their rest the same way they protect their investments. They sleep 8 hours. They exercise. They meditate or do yoga. They spend time with people they love. They take real vacations where they actually disconnect. They're not doing this because they're lazy. They're doing it because they know that a rested, healthy version of them makes better decisions and makes more money. Here's the second thing rich people understand: automation and delegation. Poor people do everything themselves because they think they have to. They think if they don't do it, it won't get done right. But that's broke thinking. Rich people look at their life and ask one question: what am I the only person who can do? And everything else, they pay someone else to do it. You're spending 2 hours on Sunday meal prepping when you could pay someone $50 to do it for you. You're cleaning your apartment when you could hire a cleaner for $100 a month. You're doing your own accounting when you could pay a professional and actually save money in the process. You're wasting your valuable time on stuff that literally anyone can do. Meanwhile, a wealthy person is spending that freed up time on things that actually make them money or improve their health. The math is simple. If you make $50 an hour and you spend 2 hours cleaning instead of working, you just lost $100. But you save maybe $30 by not hiring a cleaner. That's a terrible trade. Wealthy people do the math. They pay people to handle the low-value tasks so they can focus on the high-value tasks. Now, let's talk about the type of wealth they're building. You're probably trying to build wealth through your job or a one-person business. You, you, everything depends on you. You're the product, you're the service, you're the one working. So when you take a day off, you lose money. When you take a week off, you lose a lot of money. This creates anxiety. You can never truly rest because you know that if you stop working, you stop making money. Wealthy people build wealth through systems and assets, a business that runs without them, real estate that pays them every month, investments that grow automatically. These things make money whether they're working or not, whether they're sleeping or awake, whether they're on vacation or at home. The money doesn't depend on their personal effort. This is the game changer. Once you have money coming in that doesn't require you to work, you can actually rest. You can take a vacation and not think about losing money. You can take a mental health day without stress. You can work on passion projects instead of survival projects. Your well-being improves dramatically because the pressure is off. And here's something people don't talk about enough. Wealthy people are way more selective about what they do. They don't say yes to everything. They don't take every opportunity. They don't work with every client. They're strategic. They choose only the things that align with their goals and their lifestyle. You're probably saying yes to too much stuff. Every gig that comes along, every opportunity, every request. You're stretched thin trying to do everything. But wealthy people say no to 90% of things, so they can say yes to the 10% that actually matters. They'd rather do one thing really well than do 10 things half-assed. They also understand something called lifestyle creep prevention. As they make more money, they don't automatically spend more. You probably do this already without realizing it. You get a raise, and suddenly you're paying more rent or buying nicer things. Your expenses go up with your income, so you never actually feel wealthier. You're just stressed about more money. Rich people do the opposite. They make more money but keep their expenses relatively the same. This creates space that becomes savings, investments, and financial security. They're not trying to impress anyone with their stuff. They understand that happiness doesn't come from having the nicest car or the biggest apartment. Happiness comes from having control over your time and your well-being. Let's talk about what wealthy people actually spend their time on. It's not working more hours. It's personal development. They read, they take courses, they go to conferences, they hire coaches and mentors. They surround themselves with smart people. They're constantly learning and growing. This isn't work in the traditional sense. It's fun to them, but it's also making them smarter and richer. They're investing in themselves, not grinding in a job. They also spend time on relationships, real ones. They have close friends. They have family time. They have romantic relationships they actually nurture. They're not treating these as things they'll get to when they're rich. They're treating them as part of their wealth. Because having money is pointless if you have no one to share it with or enjoy it with. You can build real wealth in a way that actually feels good. You can have money and sanity. You can have success and happiness. You can have ambition and peace. It's not one or the other. Start today. Look at your life and ask yourself what you're doing that doesn't actually matter. Stop doing it. Ask yourself what you could delegate or automate. Do it. Ask yourself what systems you could build instead of just working. Build them. And ask yourself what actually makes you happy. Prioritize that. The people who have real money figured this out. Now you can too. Subscribe, and I'll show you exactly how to build wealth without burning out.